Can you guess how much trash Americans throw away per year? It's 250 million tons. Now, can we scale it down, and can you guess how much that you personally throw away every day? About 4.3 pounds a day. Now, combining all that, can you guess how much ends up in a landfill? A whopping 134 million tons. That's crazy. Now, before we go any further, we want to define what exactly is municipal waste. Municipal waste is composed of anything from packaging to electronics to food waste. I'm personally interested in food waste because I've done past research and have conducted a past experiment. Now, with this experiment, I observed how much food that I was personally throwing away for over a course of 2 days. I was amazed at how much was thrown away and how much my peers also threw away. Living in the dorms, I saw every day all the waste that went into trash cans. Within my research, I found out that Americans throw away up to 20 pounds of food every month, and that 40% of the food in the United States goes uneaten. I was shocked by this. I also recently started working at Subway. I took this picture on my first day there. I was amazed at the amount of bread that went to waste. Luckily, because I work through the university, we do try to compost. It's pretty encouraged here at the university, which is pretty awesome. Now, what exactly is compost? Compost is the collecting and processing of organic waste. Now, this can include food scraps and yard trimmings, and it's great for things like gardening because it energizes the soil and it helps vegetables improve flavor, and the nutrition and the immune system of the vegetables can actually improve from the compost. Even though compost is totally awesome, unfortunately, 96% of food waste that could be composted ends up in a landfill. A landfill is a site for the disposal of waste by burial. Now, a lot of times when we imagine a landfill, we imagine an area that's totally uncontrolled and gross, has animals all over the place eating at it. That's really not the case. This is thanks to local requirements, operating practices, groundwater monitoring requirements, and financial assurance that is all enforced by law enforcement. This is a proposal set up by the Environmental Protection Agency, and it's just for a landfill cover, and it's things like these that keep our landfills clean compared to other countries where regulations like this aren't. We would be seeing that dirty landfill that everyone imagines with the rats and animals running everywhere. A common misunderstanding is that recycling is the answer to all these problems. Now, recycling is changing waste material into new product. Now, can you guess how much the U.S. recycles in 1 year? It's 87 million tons. Now, out of the 4 pounds that you throw away every day, you're actually recycling 1.5 pounds, which sounds like a good thing, right? Because recycling is good, right? I mean, we always learned that recycling was good. But how great is recycling really? It's supposed to save energy, right? Well, it depends on the material. Materials like aluminum actually save up to 95% of energy that it would take to make, let's say, an aluminum aluminum can out of brand new aluminum, but it's not the case for other materials like glass, which only saves up to 30%. This brings up the controversial topic if this is really worth the money of investing if some materials are only getting 30% of energy savings. Now, a crazy thing about plastics is that it's only 70% energy efficient, which is kind of crazy. Plastics actually make up 12.7% of the total municipal waste. That's 32 million tons a year. You would think that we would be trying to make a more energy efficient way to recycle it. But that's when other alternatives like waste to energy conversion come into play. Now, waste energy conversion is generating new energy from the incineration of waste. This process is done by burning the waste to then boil water, and then the water powers a steam generator that makes electric energy to power things like heat in houses and businesses. The problem with this is that during this process, emissions of nitrogen oxide and sulfur dioxide get released into the atmosphere, causing problems like acid rain. Luckily, after this was noted in the 1980s, lime scrubbers and electrostatic precipitators were added on smokestacks to neutralize the acids to prevent hurting the atmosphere. Nowadays, it's so clean that scientists are saying that household fireplaces and barbecues are actually more harmful than the incinerators themselves. Now it's time for some review. Today we learned that municipal waste is composed of packaging, electronics, and even food. But it does not include things like hazardous waste, which is things like paint thinner, gasoline, and used car batteries. Now, we did focus a lot on food waste. We also learned that food waste can be used for compost. Compost can be used in gardening because it enriches the soil and is just really great for the earth. Now, we also learned that if it isn't composted, it usually ends up in landfills or it is being recycled. But sadly, recycling isn't what we thought it was. It's not as efficient as we hoped, and that's why we turned to incineration to turn waste into energy. Did you know that about 1/3 of an average dump is made up of packaging material? Did you know that the U.S. is the #1 trash producing country in the world? That means that 5% of the world's people generate 40% of the world's waste. And last but not least, did you know that the highest point in Ohio, in Hamilton County, is Mount Rumpke, which is actually a landfill that is towering at 1,045 feet above sea level.